Hello lovely people, and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm going to be showing you my visit to Sheffield and the National Video Game Museum, which I was lucky enough to visit this weekend. It's a present I got for my birthday back in October, but this in July was the first chance I'd got to go along, so I hope you can join me for a look at one of the most exciting museums in the country. Let's go. So the first day was spent going round my wife Lucy's old uni haunts. Here she is showing me where her student flat was and around the area where she lived. So yeah, it wasn't just about me going to the video game museum. We also had a chance to check out the city that I've not really had chance to check out before. Fantastic city, Sheffield. I think I've only ever been once, and then it was just to see a gig, so I didn't really get to see around. Here we are having one of the nicest burgers ever in Commune. And then on the second day we went to the National Video Game Museum. Here's me looking extremely excited going in. So the first thing to greet you in this massive hall is that amazing giant Sonic the Hedgehog, and there are also lots of different Sonic games from different consoles and different eras, which is a bit of a theme that you'll notice as we go through the museum. Then we're into the arcade machines section. Now, as much as I'm into retro gaming, I've not had the chance to play on a proper arcade machine for ages, so this bit was really exciting, getting a chance to play on all these different classic arcade machines. Here's my wife Lucy playing on the original Pac-Man, or Ms. Pac-Man, and it was great to play on the original Space Invaders with that overlay as well. Apologies that there is some flickering on this video from the CRTs and the refresh rates and all that sort of thing. Phoenix is a game that I recently played on a Taito collection on PS2 and really enjoyed it. Here's some of the mascots from a Tokyo 2019 gaming competition, which was really nice to see as well, something very different and unique. And there's the trophy for the 2016 Gamers Voice multiplayer. As you can see, it was a great day out for lots of different ages. And this particular exhibition was all about gaming actually made in Sheffield, which I didn't realise that Zool was made in Sheffield, but it was. And it was great to see lots of kids enjoying different gaming experience as well. Little bit of love for Luigi there, and this was a fun machine, the Dream Machine. It was actually where you drew, here's my version of a Simpsons character, you drew on it and then it projected it onto the screen above, so that was a nice little interactive section as well. And in this case there was some weird and wonderful looking machines that actually turned out to be development kits for different consoles. So here is the N64 one as well. There's a GameCube and is it Wii? No, GameCube development machine, and a GameCube tester as well, the Nintendo Dolphin reader. And then the piece de resistance is coming up in a moment as well. There's a test kit for the GameCube. This massive, you can't really get an idea of it here, but this one called Tool was a giant PlayStation 2 development kit, which I loved seeing. Here was one of the most exciting exhibitions for me personally. I first got into computing in the 1980s, and the BBC Micro was my introduction to computers. So being able to type on this very badly, I must say, for the first time in probably 35 years was a real treat, and it felt great to type on again on those clacky keys, the first keys I ever learned to type on. Here I am trying desperately to input some simple code and failing miserably. And here's Lucy showing how it's done. She had a C64, so she often used to type on that as well. Here is the Barbie game developer doll, launched in 2016, and the Doom 2 master. So yeah, there was lots of sort of historical tidbits like this. This was a whole section devoted to piracy, which was really fascinating. And here are some of the accessories that came with the Wii, including the Tony Hawk skateboard there, controller. And some more sports games from different devices there. I broke so many controllers on this old track and field when we used to play it, me and my brother, on the NES. Then this was the back section of the room. The whole museum is encased in one giant room. And the back here we had one of my favourite exhibits. Different handhelds. So we have the Game Gear there. We have the love it or hate it Nokia N-Gage, the Tony racing game I used to have as a kid. And some other classics, the Atari Lynx there, of course. And the Pocket Color, as well as you've got the Game Gear with its accessories there as well, like the TV tuner, and one of the originals, Astro Wars by Grandstand, as well as the much derided Barcode Battler, which was a handheld that you used to be able to make games just by putting barcodes into the machine. And Nintendo Game & Watch, Game Boy Advance, and some Game Boy accessories, including the camera and the printer, as well as some of the other systems, including the wonderfully knockoff Game Child. Can't imagine what they based that on. Here's the Amiga. I first got into gaming in the early 90s around the time of the Atari ST Amiga wars, so it was great to see the Amiga there. Unfortunately, no Atari ST that I could see, my personal favourite. There's the Master System Mark 1. Gorgeous. It's almost got like a Ferrari look to it, I think, an 80s Ferrari look. And the Super Nintendo. Then we had a bit of a play on the giant screen for Guitar Hero. I used to be so much better at this than I am now. I was absolutely appalling at this, as you can probably see. I was playing on the guitar and it didn't seem to have, I'm going to blame the tool now, but it didn't seem to have any connection from the keys I was playing to the notes on the screen, but we had fun playing anyway. This was at the back of the museum and it was a really interesting way of doing it. It had, I think, 21 different versions of the same game, which was Donkey Kong, played on all the systems, so that you could try it out on all the different systems and see how the same game was, how it looked on different systems. There's the Dragon 32, the ColecoVision, the Apple II, ZX Spectrum, all on the all using the same controllers as well. So it was nice to experiment on all the different types of consoles to play the same game, Donkey Kong. And there really was quite some difference between them.
Is that the C64 version?
A poorly looking joystick here, as well as the Vader version of the Atari T600. Named Vader because of its colour, of course, on the front there instead of the usual wood panelling. Then some different cartridges.
Oh, amazing.
the ZX Spectrum. If you grew up in the 80s in England, as I did, you'll know how important the Commodore 64 and the Speccy were to us as kids. Different Nintendo cartridges there, moving over to the Wii. And the glorious rainbow colours there of the ZX Spectrum, of course. 7800 Atari, and another original Master System. This was the Loopy from 1995, the first games console aimed at girls, which is, you know, shows how times have moved on a bit, doesn't it? Hopefully. Although, ironically, I would actually absolutely love to have a Loopy now. The much derided Virtual Boy, Nintendo's first attempt at 3D games console, which crashed and burned. And here we have some of the great 90s consoles there as well. The Pip-Boy from Fallout. And a big Halo trophy there as well. And some more what they called representation, so trying to get more women into gaming by making everything pink, because you'll know that's the perfect way to get girls into gaming, of course. I'm being sarcastic, by the way. Then we had the Game Boy Advance, the Xbox, the original Fat Boy DS, and the Wii there, as well as some games underneath of different cartridges from different systems. We had I think there's an Atari one down there. And there we've got Lucy playing on Outrun. It was nice that they had Outrun next to Forza game to see how racing games have come on. This was fascinating. I don't know what game it was, but his partner was sort of making moves in the right hand side, and then he was having to play within that. Here is where it all started, really, the Magnavox Odyssey. Here are some of the overlays that you actually put onto your screen to play the very rudimentary games. So you'd have like a dot that would appear on one of those states and you had to name it, that sort of thing. Great to see such an historic console. Then we had VTech with the terrifying Wiggles game at the back there. And the Sega Saturn, that very random looking controller there with Nights into Dreams. The 3D control pad. And some different quirky looking controllers as well. Including Atari 2600's first go at a wireless controller, can you believe? Back in the early 80s. And this lock-on that you would wear. Probably gave you terrible migraines, no doubt, like the Virtual Boy. And the scope, the Nintendo scope, which I do remember one of my friends having when I was a kid. And there's the box for those remote control wireless joysticks for the A600. So really, really fun. Of course, I had to look up the local CEX to see if there were any games in there, and I did manage to pick up a couple. And as we were in Sheffield, we had to have a good look around the city centre and the famous Crucible and the Lyceum Theatre. There was a dance competition going on at the time. One of the things that I loved about Sheffield is, I suppose coming from a town mouse point of view, there was so much going on, so much buzz and vibrancy to everything. And yeah, here's a dance club, and they were dancing their hearts out outside the Crucible and the Winter Gardens as we were going in. And then we moved into the Winter Gardens. What a beautiful building this is, created in the Millennium really relaxing to walk through and just take a bit of time to reconnect with nature in the middle of this big industrial city. Here's some more of the dance competition, and they were showing us some traditional Romany dancing, which was fascinating as well. Just outside in the Peace Gardens by the town hall, which I'm zooming out to now. And then we had a look into the Millennium Gallery. Sheffield is well known for its cutlery and steelworks, and this creature, which I thought was a dragon at first but looks more like a giraffe on second inspection, is made completely of cutlery, which is absolutely breathtaking when you look closely at it. And then we looked at John Ruskin exhibit that was on in the gallery as well, which was great to see. And we sat out in the Peace Square as the sun was setting on this beautiful, beautiful city, and this great experience of coming to Sheffield for the National Video Game Museum and to see all the other sites and things going on. So I hope you enjoyed that quick look at the National Video Game Museum in Sheffield and all the other interesting sites that wonderful city has to offer. If this is your sort of thing, if you like your retro gaming, then please do consider liking, subscribing, or even maybe sharing this with a friend. And as always, take care and thanks for watching.